objects in their cultural context. Uh, Garrison and Giorgio Riello describe the emergence of the disciplines of material culture, its academic roots, its advantages and disadvantages, as a historical approach in the introduction to their anthology, the writing Material Culture History. Objects have meanings for the people who produce and own, purchase and gift, use and consume them. Material culture is therefore not merely the study of things, but the meanings these things hold for people. End quote. Jerston and Riello, 2014. Garieston and uh, Riello are careful also to emphasize the complexity of these meanings as well as the crucial role that tangible objects play in shaping of history. They state that items are tools through which people shape their lives rather than quote unquote simple props of history. As a multidisciplinary field of study, there is no single methodological approach to writing of the history of material culture. Um, as I quote, objects from the past appear to us both in their material form and textual records where our imagination conjures their form, end quote. And historians must learn to take both historical presences into account. Garrison concludes by reflecting on the significance of taking space into account in her essay entitled From Long Distance Trade to the Global Lives of Things in the Spatial Turn. In history, to this argument, Garrison uh, observes that, uh, quote, space is not a static given condition, but a contingent construction. Moreover, the spatial turn urges us to see space as having agency. Humans not only shape the environment in which they act, but space is also a major actor in the historical field. End quote. Cheriston, 2016. The creation of a Ming vase in 16th century Ming Dynasty China was considerably different from how it was conserved, archived, and collected in later centuries. According to Jeriston and Riello, who also note that things have their own histories and narratives, the historian or collector of the 21st century may never fully understand the vase's value to its original creator or owner, but by painstakingly building a rich historical background, they may come to a more accurate conclusion. These things gain their urgency in part through knowledge and cultivation of these biographies. Depending on their position in time and space, an object's meaning and significance are constantly changing. As a result, objects develop their own histories over time. Uh, Trentman contends that we can only fully comprehend the significance of the Ming vase to its original Chinese owner or any of its subsequent caretakers down the centuries. We can begin to piece together the vase's story and identify by looking at its larger context throughout time. Artist and writer Edmond de Waal's The Hare with the Amber Eye, in which the author recounts the acquisition and subsequent inheritance of a sizable collection of Japanese Notsuki, ultimately leading to the acquisition of the collection described in the book. Duval can access his family history through this assortment of modest handmade items. They are a physical representation of their numerous tragic losses, as well as a testament to the strength of their ties to one another across time and space. The treatise on superfluous things in 1615 to 1620 provided guidance on the tasteful acquisition and presentation of opulent items. Zhenheng forbade the indiscriminate consumption of novelties and placed an emphasis on the cultural and aesthetic value of antiques, as well as their strength when properly displayed in a stylish setting. That's according to Trentman in 2016. Despite the wealthy merchant class's increasingly ostentatious consumption, a thriving consumer culture was prevented from taking hold of the ruling elite's emphasis on the reverencing the antique and displaying a refined and restrained sense of display in one's clothing and home.